Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Right now, it's the G3 90 Days to Save Instant Rebate Sales event. Depending on the model of G3 that you pick up at Madisonville Marine between now and December 31st, clock's ticking, $750 to $1,500 back on a rebate from G3 through Madisonville Marine. Bob Hodge, quickly, how happy are you with your G3 from Madisonville Marine?
I'm tickled to death with the G3 from Madisonville Marine, and I can't wait for deer season to be over because I get to use it again.
There you go. All right. The deer can't wait either.
Yeah,
All right. Before we get into this, I want to talk. I think this is interesting. Talking about a divided fan base. I just got this on Twitter. Fan base is not divided. You are reading way too many forums and message boards. It's not divided. And the guy goes on and says, hopefully someday there'll be a focus on positive things. Many writers like to dig for the negative in order to be heard. Is this guy right that it's not divided and we're wrong? Or I'm wrong. I've said it's divided. You guys may think it's not divided.
No, I mean, if he goes to Neyland Stadium and is sitting there on a Saturday afternoon watching Missouri gain 952 yards in the first half, it's pretty dadgum divided.
A lot of people cleared out of there.
Yeah, I think it's strongly divided. It's great that he has that attitude about
Positive,
it.
yeah.
But I think that if he expressed that openly, I think a lot of people would then try to argue with him about whether it's divided.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, all right. Guys, and I'll start with down there. Guys, with no athletic director, Jones, he's won 8 games, could win 9, and there's $10 million, 10 million reasons they're not going to buy him out. He's safe. Oh, it would be a shocking move if they ran out, hired somebody who came in and immediately fired Butch Jones so they could hire somebody that's not a big name. It's safe. So I'm surprised, and please give me the end game here, why the anti-Butch crowd is still so fervent and so loud under recruiting stories, online, call-in shows. What is the goal? Is it just do they want 2017 to be bad? They want a bad 2017 so Butch can be gone rather than hoping for the best in 2017? Do you think is that the gist?
I think it's so silly and misguided, but I think some people are just hoping to make things so uncomfortable he gets fed up and leaves. And
okay.
takes a job somewhere else and
Yeah,
just leaves on his own.
It's human nature to be, if you're gonna be unhappy, you're not gonna be logical and say, well, I can't do anything about this now because they're not gonna do that. That's too logical. And social media gives them an outlet.
So it's more just venting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think that's what it is. I think their end game is what they're doing right now. And everything they're going to throw something up against the wall. I mean, tweeting something negative about a guy who just said he's coming to play for your school is just, it's beyond me. Why you would do that? I do not understand it. So I think their end game is just to do what they do.
Yeah, there are times I don't know what their goal is because I don't think they know. Like with Trey Smith, if you're going to be upset and vent online about who some regard as the #1 player in the country choosing your school, then I don't think you have an end game there. And it's also like, to this point, you either have to choose two sides. One, you are 100% supportive and you will fall in line with the coach, or you are 100% against when there's no in between. It's like it's either you completely support or he has to be fired. There has to be some conversation in the middle.
Exactly, because yesterday I just put up a tweet teasing this, saying we're going to discuss this, and saying, oh yeah, let's just settle. I just put up a question. What is the goal here? I'm not saying settle. I understand the goal isn't to go 8-4. That's not the goal. Of course that's not the goal. At the same time, you have to look at reality, or at least I do. I went through this with the Patriots and Pete Carroll many years ago. And I knew going into his 3rd year, this isn't the guy. It's not going to work. But I went into that 3rd year hoping I was wrong. I'm pulling for them to win. Now, when they went on their 6 out of 8 losing streak at the end, then I'm saying, go ahead and lose, get out of here. I didn't go into that season, though, saying, yeah, I hope it's a wasted 16 weeks. I really hope it's miserable for everyone. I think a lot of people just enjoy being angry, though.
Right.
I think that's
Well, they're just they're basically unhappy.
I
And
think
it's-
social media has started some of that.
And are Tennessee fans, I asked my brother this, are they more involved in social media than other schools fans? I think they are. I think Tennessee is way more.
Well, they make a big point of it, and they take pride in saying that they are. That's what do they call it? It's like Vol Twitter or
Hashtag Vol Twitter.
Hashtag Vol Twitter. Yes, and I saw Mike starting to shake his head. They're no different. Tennessee fans think they're different.
Well, of course they do, but they think they're different. But if you go to a Nebraska or just pick a school and go to their message board for 6 months.
Well, I'm talking about Twitter. mainly.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Twitter.
I think
If you
Tennessee's
study
at the
any
top of the
school-
list.
If you study any school, I'll bet it's close to the same.
I'll say this: I did the Mr. SEC thing for 5 years, reading everything that's out there every day for all the schools. There were 3 that kind of stood out as more negative than the rest: Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn. And Alabama and Auburn have a thing going, so I don't know how much that's their own people or just throwing eggs at each other. Tennessee was up there in terms of just the negativity. But here's the thing: I looked at that chart in the last segment. Let's show this picture of this guy. I look at that chart in the last segment, and I think this. If a UT fan has been walking in the desert since 1998, no championships, and someone approaches with a cup of water, I think it's silly to slap the cup out of his hand and say, "I deserve champagne now." If you do that, you're going to risk being thirsty in the desert a lot longer. I'm not saying settle for a cup of tepid water from now on, but at the time being, if the coach isn't going to be fired, drink the water, hope for champagne next year.
Their argument would be that Butch was bringing them the water and dropped it before they got there.
That's going
to be their argument.
Somebody of this, when they went to Chattanooga to visit with the families who'd lost children, the team went down there, Butch Jones went down there, some players went down there. There was a complaint on Twitter that I got from someone saying, "Oh, he's too lazy to drive. We have to use state money to fly him down there." All right. When we come back, we got some pretty big stuff on Josh Dobbs, some impressive numbers that someone else did for once. I like it when other people do research projects. We'll also talk about coaching hires, a lot of stuff. Come on back.